Hi, I'm Miss Mare.
And I'm Miss Andrea. Classes that count toward high school in 8th grade would be algebra, physical science, American history.
American government.
Or American government.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yes, absolutely.
It just depends on how a coursework is structured, but American government often either comes at the beginning of the high school journey or at the end.
World geography, maybe not, because that's technically a middle school class. And then for electives, if they're doing something that is geared toward the future career, like ballet or piano or something, then that should be in there.
You could also do a high school health in 8th grade.
Yeah, you can get away with that. Yes, absolutely. So don't just start in 9th grade. Look at what they've done in 8th grade and consider that.
Video.
And so over the 4 years, each year should have a math, right? So algebra, geometry, algebra 2.
Personal finance.
And then do what you want.
Or if you've got a math-heavy student, you should be doing pre-calc.
It could be pre-calc or personal finance, depending on the college.
Right. Well, and depending on what the student wants to do.
Right.
Sometimes if you have a really math-heavy student, you might have had algebra in 8th grade.
Right.
Geometry, algebra 2, pre-calc, and calc.
Right.
Like that's a math-heavy transcript.
You could have algebra in 8th grade. 9th grade could be geometry and algebra 2. That is not unusual for a math-heavy kid to do geometry in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
And then pre-calc, calc, and statistics.
Right.
Like, so whatever your child does, you need to split that up amongst the years. Put that in the year which he did it. If a lot of them will do like a trig or geometry in the summer, and so you just decide, does that go in the year before or does that go in the year after? Because someone's like, can I take chemistry and then AP chemistry? I'm like, yes.
So the second time you take a class, it's considered honors, even if it's not AP per se.
Right.
You can absolutely give an honors designation for the second time that a student.
Especially if they got an A the first time.
Yep, and an A the second time.
Yeah.
You're doubling down on it. So that's an honors class.
So yeah, for foreign language, Latin. You can do Latin. You can do sign language. And they have physical and piano.
Caveat on, so sign language is a foreign language for many colleges. Mm-hmm. There's some that don't accept that. So just check the colleges that you're looking at. It's like I know the military academy.
So it's accepted.
Requires spoken language.
It's accepted for high school if you've been in high school.
Right.
But what happens is a bit of a segue. But if your child has taken one of the acceptable foreign languages as a high school student and reached a certain level of proficiency, then they won't have to take that foreign language in college. That's what you're talking about, right?
No, there actually are some who will not consider.
Doesn't count?
Like that's not a foreign language.
So that means you just didn't take foreign language.
So just according to their criteria, you didn't take foreign language.
Mm-hmm.
So just be aware of that. Be looking at the colleges that your child's interested in and make sure that they've got kind of those things.
But in the U.S., we're not required to get past 2. And the law, the rule is in any general public high school is 2 years of the same foreign language.
Right. The easiest way to test proficiency in a foreign language is to get those proficiency tests from the countries that speak them.
I think we did the club.
Yep. Club would do the same thing, but your European standard.
Yeah, that's new. I didn't know about that.
Each
you did that.
level, you have 1A is a whole year of the language. 1B is a whole year of the language. 2A is a whole year of the language. If you get all the way to level 3, you're functionally fluent.
So here's the thing about homeschoolers. They will say, I want to learn Spanish. And then 3 months later, they're like, that was not it. I want to learn sign language. And then they'll say, that was not it. Look.
You got to have 2 years of the same language of something.
There's something they've got to follow through for 2 years. Everything else they can dabble. Like you can dabble on the side. But by the time we hit 10th grade,
those 2 years.
There has to be, so if you're going to dabble in 9th grade.
Yeah.
So by the time you hit 10th grade, you know what you can get through a whole year of.
So language arts actually was one of the harder ones to tease apart because certainly here in Georgia, there were specific requirements of things that you had to touch in each language arts field. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, we did language arts all 4 years, but we had to kind of go pull apart the grammar and be like, yep, that got done. Pull apart there was a certain amount of reading. Okay, that got done. a certain amount of composition. Okay, that got done. And we just sort of had to like work things around.
Yeah, this
each of
is
the
kind
check
of more
marks.
about paperwork than what your kid does, because the way I do it is in 9th grade, we blow them through grammar.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, you know your grammar. I have it all documented. I know what grammar you know.
Yep.
And then the next 3 years, we're reading and writing.
Yep.
And so if a college says, I want it formatted this way, do they know this part of grammar? And do they read these things? You might need to look at everything they did, which is why we have our box.
Yep.
And then rearrange it
Yes.
to a way that's palatable for the school.
So that's why you're
will the
gonna have
years
that.
match up to what they did versus what they want? Maybe not, but you know it's all there. You know that they've done the work, and you can sort it into the classes to show what they want. You know they did all the reading and writing in grade 11, but they did that grammar in grade 9. You can say, yeah, they did it. They know it. Here, you want to give that? You want to be sure? Here, let me give you a little test on this little section. See, they know it.
Right.
Math and science. 11th grade, you're either leaning in, or you're pulling back and letting them shine in other things. Right. Maybe they're doing a Shakespeare intensive and a different literature unit. So don't just be like, we don't have to do it anymore. You need to be leaning into something. You need to be showing this year what your child is interested in. It needs to show in what they've done here. And so just samples of what happens in 12th grade. A lot of kids I work with, especially when they've done all the hard stuff, they've done American literature, they've done world literature or British lit, they do a college writing class. That's a best dual enroll.
Yeah.
Dual enroll, take writing 101.
You have to have it anyway.
And that way they'll know, they'll go into college knowing how they need to write to be on a college level. If you want to know what to do for physical fitness, either they join some kind of sport for a year or two, or longer, or they just do the presidential physical fitness test. For grade 11, British literature, geometry, American history, physics, Latin, photography. Why are you dying?
Because they put British literature and American history together.
We would never do that to a child.
Why are you torturing your child?
We would never do that to a child. If you
do American lit and American history
at
in the same
time.
year.
Duh.